The Filmmakers Podcast exists thanks to your support. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep on exploring the filmmaking world with you, subscribe to our Patreon.
It's the Podfix Network!
Hello and welcome to episode 286 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films to TV and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. I'm Giles Alderson. I'm a writer, director, and a producer, and I'm delighted to tell you that on this week's episode is not only the producer, screenwriter, actor Matt Hookings, but also legendary actors Steven Berkoff and Julian Glover. We're here to talk about Matt's latest film, Prizefighter, because Steven and Julian star in the film. This is the first time that Steven and Julian have been in a room together for 50 years. Yeah, that's right. They both star in Prizefighter, but they were not in the same scene, so they didn't see each other. 50 years! And yes, boys and girls, ladies and germs, we all were in the same room, recorded this at 01, and we filmed it as well. So this should be going out on YouTube very soon as a filmed podcast. Oh yeah, we're moving up in the world. Oh, YouTube is our oyster. If you don't know, Steven Berkoff, he has played villains such as General Orlov in the James Bond film Octopussy, who's the art dealer, Victor Maitland in Beverly Hills Cop. He was also in Rambo First Blood Part 2, and he played George Cornell in The Craze. Not only that, but Steven Berkoff has starred in Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange and Barry Lyndon. He's also been in The Big I Am, The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, and Decline of an Empire recently. Julian Glover has also starred in a Bond film, playing a baddie as well in For Your Eyes Only. He was also in The Empire Strikes Back. He was in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and he played Aragog in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. He's also been in TV shows such as The Avengers, The Saint, Doctor Who, Blake 7, Remington Steele, and very recently, Spies of Warsaw. Matt Hookings is the star and producer of Winter Ridge, Dom Lenoir's directed feature film, and he is the star, writer, and producer of Prizefighter, which is what we were here to talk about. But not only did they talk about Prizefighter, but they talked about playing baddies in separate Bond films, but working with the same director. They talked about working with Spielberg and working with Kubrick, what makes them tick with scripts, characters, directors, and on set, and why they signed up to film Prizefighter, which, by the way, is out this Friday, the 22nd of July, on Prime. So I am recovering from COVID at the moment, so I'm sweltering in a room because there is a heat wave in the UK at the moment. So I've closed the windows and turned the fan off for this intro. But to be honest, I haven't really got any side effects. I'm fine. But what it did do was make me lose a job recently, and it was a very well-paying job for a very big fashion brand. I got there and did the COVID test, as you should, and yeah, I had to go home. I think it's just one of those things. It has to be done. This is what has to happen in the film industry, and it's very frustrating. There's no question about it. People have lost out on many jobs because of this disease, but it keeps everyone safe. It keeps TV and film productions going. So as much as I'm annoyed that I've lost out on a nice, healthy paycheck, it is how it is. And sometimes we've just got to accept that it is that way. But in good news, this week I have signed with a management company. Oh yeah, a nice biggie as well. That I will tell you more about very soon, but just as an upbeat note for that downbeat note. And The Stranger in Our Bed, which is out now on Showtime, continues to do well. But it's something that Dan Mervish said on last week's show. You can greenlight yourself. Set a date and make it happen. And I truly believe that. But you have to be the driving force. You can't just set a date and then, hope it happens. You can't rely on others. You have to push yourselves. Don't expect anyone to come to you or wait at home thinking the phone's going to ring. You pick up the phone, you make the call, you send the email. Ask the agents, the managers, the money people, those gatekeepers. What have you got to lose? Be proactive, make shit happen for you. Just as Matt has done actually making Prizefighter. It's an incredible story of resilience, no matter the odds. Hopefully either on Friday or next Tuesday, we will have a full episode with Matt Hookings all about how he did this. Because he got Russell Crowe in his movie. He got Ray Winston in his movie. He's also got Steven Berkoff and Julian Glover in his movie. That is no easy feat. No, I'm not saying you have to do it like Matt has done it. But you have to be brave and face rejection and heartache. That is part of it. But believe in your project, believe in you, and go knock on some doors. But not if you have COVID. You can call or email in that case. But seriously, don't wait. If you think your script is good enough, and push it out there. Be brave. Be your own boss and greenlight yourself. By the way, do listen to Dan Mervish's episode from last week after this. It is incredible. So much insights for indie filmmakers. So many tips and tricks. Go listen. So if you do like this episode, tell your friends and then take a listen to some of our other famous, legendary actors who have been on the Filmmakers Podcast, from Stephen Fry, Mark Strong, Alice Eve, Peter Dinklage, Charlotte Ritchie, Dominic Monaghan, Julie Delpy, Matthew Modine, Rupert Graves, Timothy Spore, Emily Mortimer, and Sir Ian McKellen, to name a few. Yeah, that's right. They've all been on the Filmmakers Podcast. Go to the podcast section on the filmmakerspodcast.com website, type actors or their name, and you will find that episode. You will not be disappointed. We have loads. This is episode 268. What do you expect? So as you know, we have collaborated with Q Scripts. They do sponsor us as well. Q Scripts offer script analysis services, providing detailed, constructive and professional reports on your short scripts, feature scripts and your TV scripts. They work with both emerging talent aiming for a break in the industry, as well as established writers looking to take their scripts and ideas to the next level. Their experienced readers have a track record in honing scripts into the best and most appealing version for production companies and other partners. So have you got a script that's been developed and need to hear it off the page? Q Scripts, they can arrange for read-through with professional actors, and 3 months membership for free for a limited time only. Go to qscripts.com, check it out. More info in the middle of this week's episode. Coming up for you very soon are some mini episodes. Basically, we have been interviewing filmmakers who've made short films, people who work behind the scenes, and we've made some mini episodes for you. And they're going to be on our Patreon page, but what we're going to do on our Patreon page is have them for free. We want you to experience these. We couldn't put them in the main episodes. We wanted to do a special for you, but we didn't know where to put them. So we're putting them in the Patreon for you, and that is patreon.com/The Filmmakers Podcast. They will be appearing either this Friday or the following Friday, and it's free. And if you want to donate while you're there, you can, but you don't have to. This is because we wanted you guys to hear these, to help you with your shorts, to help you with set design, marketing, etc., etc., etc. Do check those out. And if you really like this, why not rate and review on iTunes, so it's easier for others to find the show. Right, let's get to it. This is myself and Matt Hookings chatting to legends that are Steven Berkoff and Julian Glover. And bear with us at the start of this show. There was no kind of general intro. We just fell into chatting. So that's exactly what we do here. Huge thank you to 01 for letting us film and record the podcast there. So here you go. Enjoy.
My father was a writer, and he was one of the fastest typists I've ever known. One finger only.
Wow.
What? It was absolute bloody magic. He could whap up an article in 5 minutes, just with one finger. He said, I don't know what to do with all the other fingers.
Just leave them hanging, right? Yeah. Just drop them off. Did that sort of influence you to get into the acting
theatre?
world? Yeah, into him.
No, I wasn't going to be an actor till I by pure chance, I became an actor. Both my parents were writers, journalists, you call them, working journalists.
Yeah.
And for instance, there was a time when they went out to Mallorca and met Robert Graves, the poet, and they didn't have any money. They were very young, and they only stayed there on condition that they did one article a day and sent them back to England. And there was one point when my father did 4 a day, 4 articles a day.
One finger.
Yes, and just in hoping you get one place, and then that means you could stay another 3 days in Mallorca. Yeah.
Which was nice for you.
They were writers, and
Right.
a lovely atmosphere to be brought up with.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, but that didn't influence you to become an actor. What did?
I can't go into the history of all this. Have I got to do this? I
No.
do beg your pardon. I'll nap on.
No, it's so
Your turn in a
interesting,
minute.
Julian. It's fascinating. I'm all ears and no mouth.
Not what I heard.
I bet have you heard a few things?
Maybe, we're away. Right.
What happened was I had to go to a school rather late because my parents ran out of money, and it was a school in South London called Alleyne's, and it was called Alleyne's because it was founded by the great Shakespearean Marlovian actor Edward Alleyne for a school for poor boys in Dulwich, and it was a good school to go to. Particularly, it used to be a public school, but now it was public. It was a special grant or whatever it is. It was paid for by the government when I was there. Right. But we still had all the facilities of a public school. Anyway, just gone to that school was a very young man who'd just come from Oxford, an English master who decided to revive the long-neglected habit of doing Shakespeare at the school, which seemed a good idea with that name. He decided he was going to do an open-air production of Julius Caesar. Well, I had no idea about being an actor. I was rather a shy little boy, would you believe? And and he cast me as Mark Antony, which is arguably the showiest play in the canon. And I played Mark Antony. It was quite extraordinary. And it was an open-air, modern dress production, and I have to say it was reviewed in the papers, and it had a very small part played by John Stride, who went on to become a star.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Wow.
And anyway, I played that.
Yeah.
And I went home after that and said, I've found what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I want to do, what I need to do. And I just knew that whether I was any good or not, I had to do it. That's why I'm here.
Mm.
And so I did it. And they were very encouraging, sent me to drama school. And which I only did 1 year of because we had to do national service in those days. And
How it started, that passion. Did you get the same passion for you? Did it feel burning from a child to be a performer, to be a creator?
Well, I probably had a feeling that is general to people who are a little bit outside the system. And we felt very much like outsiders, and my family weren't at all academic. In fact, we are from a different group of people. We're a different tribe to the British, which we admired inordinately, because my grandparents came from Odessa, and at that time Odessa had the same fascist government as it has today under the Russians. Same thing, they had to flee, they were persecuted, abused, kicked out of jobs, kicked out of homes, kicked out of schools, kicked out of hospitals, and so they went on a trek over by, coach and bus and boat, mainly in old trains. It took them about 3 months to get to Europe. Eventually they got on the boat, I think in Rotterdam, to England, to Tilbury, and they arrived there in about 1890, and they arrived at the East End. None of them can speak any English, very few. And so there were people waiting who were like charitable organizations to say, we will look after you. And they say, well, what can you do? And my grandparents, they couldn't do anything because they were doing manual work mainly because of the Russian laws that you couldn't be a teacher, you couldn't be this, you couldn't be a doctor. And so they were very good at manual things. So their grandparents, my grandfather was a tailor, a kind of cutter. And so my grandfather was a cutter and a tailor, or a fishmonger. And so my father
A tailor or a fishmonger.
Yeah, but as long as you could smoke fish, that was very popular in Eastern Europe, because they used to get fish, Spanish salmon from the Baltic, and they used to smoke the salmon. And they were the first people, the Jews were the first people who invented the idea of smoking salmon. So when they came to England, and they still hankered for salmon, and they said, well, in Scotland they export lots of salmon. Oh, it's wonderful. So we smoke it because we have no fridges and things, and they can last for months. So the Jews introduced smoked fish in England. And a very famous, his name escapes me, an East End smokehouse, and it's still there today. And they smoked it, and the aristocrats thought, oh, this is wonderful. You take this lovely flavour, and you squeeze a little bit of lemon. Yes, well, the Jews are very useful, aren't they? They can do lots of things. So either you smoke salmon or you're a tailor. So even my father, who was intelligent,
So like opposites.
he became a tailor, although he was very clever at school, and they wanted to. The headmaster said, he's such a brilliant boy. He's brilliant at mathematics, but grandfather says, no, he's got to work, because my granddad had 10 children, boys and girls, and they needed everyone to work. So poor dad left school at 14, I think, and went into the sweatshops and became a tailor, so that it would be natural for me to become a tailor.
Yeah.
So I went to school, and unfortunately I inherited a little bit of his wit and won a scholarship, went to grammar school. And but because of the obsession to work with your hands, which is quite an honour today, but it felt in Eastern Europe it was a bit of a kind of low-grade work. You know, you're either a carpenter, which is an honourable work, or you're a tailor. So anything that has no language. So because of that, instead of my father saying, look, I'll teach you tailoring, when I come into the workshop, but he didn't teach me any tailoring. Didn't want to, because he was a bit ashamed of that past. So I left school with no skill. I didn't have tailoring. I'd have loved to have been a tailor, and cutting and taking a piece of cloth and chalk up the thing and cut it and stitch it and baste it. Loved to have been a tailor, but instead I left school at 15 with nothing to do. So I thought, then I thought to myself, well, I actually thought like that. I'd like to be somebody famous.
Wow.
I want to be the most famous person on earth in something.
Like Boris Johnson, yeah.
Yes, like Boris Johnson. I want to be either a great politician, speaker, a great religious leader like Jesus Christ.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be the greatest actor ever lived. I want to be the greatest writer. That's all I had. Or work in a gym, become a boxer. I even had that a little bit, but my nose is broken. I couldn't box. But just idealistic dreams of having no skill in anything. But the idea of acting, and I saw movies, and I thought that would be a nice movie star. So I wrote to all the companies and said, I'd like to be in the movies. And they said, well, you've got to go to drama school. Have you had any training? I said, no, not yet. He said, well, go to a school. I said, well, how do you do that? And then one guy had pity on me. He said, does your parents not want you to take further education? I said, no. He said, well, I'll tell you what you do. There are certain institutes in London that take on poor people. Well, not so much poor people who have missed the boat. And they're called literary institutes. And there was one in Holborn called the City Literary Institute.
Lit, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
City
still
Lit.
around, yeah.
And for £5 a quarter, you can take a drama course. So by that time, I had begun to work. So I was working. I became eventually a salesman in a menswear shop, men's boutique. So yes, that's all right. It's very tedious because you had to get in at 9, though no customers turned up till about 12. And you worked all day, and you worked 7 days a week. And you were bored out of your mind. But you needed some money so that you could go out. And the only thing you could do when you're a young man is you take a girl out and go to the movies, or you go dancing, and that's your life. I mean, what else is there? Unless you have a girlfriend, you're nothing.
Right.
You don't have anybody. Otherwise, you're hanging around the amusement arcade. You know, they
playing
you press the
pushing
things,
pinball
balls,
wizards.
Pinballs.
Yeah.
So I used to play that, pressing pinballs.
Where's that? Is that in London?
Yeah, in Stamford Hill.
Yeah.
So I got a job in menswear, and I just did that for year after year after year. My life just drifted away. But then I still had this dream So when I went to the City Lit, after about 4 years as a men's wear salesman.
And a very good one by then, I imagine.
Oh yeah, it wasn't bad. And then,
how old were you then, Stephen? How old?
Well, it was from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 of those years thrown away. And also I was working in the shop, tidying up the socks and putting the shirts together in neat orders. I thought of those people at university, laying in the grass, amongst the daffodils and reading Keats to each other. And here am I felt such a feeling of hate and disgust. It was awful. I thought, I've got to get out of this. So I went to the City Lit, and they said, okay, you turn up. I didn't know anything about acting. For beginners and for men and women who've missed school, missed university. And I went in there, and all the people in the class are sitting 4 sides of the room, and no one had any shirt or tie. They all had roll neck sweaters. I thought, this is lovely. They're all so free. And then the teacher says, now we're going to begin. And I thought, this is so exciting. I was so moved. We're going to begin. I'm now going to become an actor. And he said, just walk up and down the room, feeling you're happy. So we all walked down the room happy. Now feeling that you're sad, it's introspective. And we were sad. I thought, I am acting. This is the most glorious day of my life. And then after a few weeks, said, now we'd like you to speak. Pick up something from a play. So I looked for plays. And they never had any speeches. They were like 2 lines, 1 line, 2 lines, 5 lines. It didn't interest me. So I picked something from a collection of short stories by Franz Kafka. And I picked up a short story, which I loved, called The Bucket Rider. It appealed to me enormously. It's a very surrealistic story about a man who rides on his bucket because his bucket's empty of coal. He has no money, no coal, so he can ride on the bucket because it's so light. And he rides on the bucket through the streets until he comes to the house of the coal dealer. And he says, coal dealer, give me a little coal. My bucket is so light, I can ride on it, please. So this story, and then the teacher says, no, that's not what we want. We want to play. So I'm sorry, it wasn't the right thing. But that's what I did. I started with Kafka. And when my very first show was Kafka, was Kafka's Metamorphosis, which I adapted, directed, wrote, designed, and played the lead at the Roundhouse in 69 many years ago.
I saw it.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
I'm so pleased.
It's absolutely definitive.
Oh, thank you.
Marvellous piece of work. Marvellous piece of work. He's always been a crazy man, this man. He does things completely off the wall and always does his own things. He chooses his own actors and his own subjects and he just does them.
Well, I have to.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very kind of you to say that.
You say you have to. What do you mean by that? Because
I did audition for the various institutions, which I thought, God, to be at the RSC, at Stratford, saying these wonderful lines like he did when he was 14. Friends, Romans, countrymen,
you got it.
Lend me your ears.
I'd have cast you.
Oh, wonderful. To say that. But I auditioned and they often called me back. But then they didn't want me. And they wouldn't give me a job. And all the time I was rejected. So I thought, it doesn't matter. I will make my own work. I don't need you anymore. Would like to have done, but I'll employ myself.
That's exactly
I'll write my own plays. I'll act in my own plays.
Yeah.
I don't want you bum to direct me. Yeah. You can't even direct the fucking piss up in a brewery. I will do my own direction. I will be unlike anything you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. And what that does when you do that, it makes you appreciate and realize the friends that did stick with you.
Yes, of course.
It's the same. Like I've got the same thing with Prizefighter and everything. Like so many people said to me, you can't cast your friend because he was in the short in 5-6 years ago. No, I have to, because those are the people that stuck with you. I've had the same experience, gone through so many auditions,
I'm sure,
been so close.
You're outsider and you make your own thing.
Not got it. And then you realize when you do create your own stuff, you build this this protection around you that you only want to work with people that your friends and people that support you.
This happens so often. It happens with actors, doesn't it? You get it if you're lucky, you get into somebody's sort of club.
Yeah.
And you work a lot with them. I'm sorry to say Peter Hall was one of mine in my later years. I became his old man in the end. And
it's good that you had a connection. It was good.
And for a while, I was part of his club. And a lot of actors like that, you say, there's this director, oh, I bet so-and-so's in it, he's in it. And that's because of security, isn't it? You know, the director knows what you're going to give him. And
people think it's a closed-off experience and you're not including new people. New people come in all the time, but it's just, I've had the same experience as what Steven just mentioned, just gone through so many auditions, not got it. So then when I do create the stuff myself, I want to work with people who either backed me, supported me, or
naturally,
or was going to come in and bring light. Not
well,
just
I'm
come
one
in
of those people, aren't I?
Yes,
look at this.
because you did the short together, didn't you?
I did the short. Yeah, it's called Then and Now. Was it called?
Yes.
Then and Now, yeah.
And
you wrote as well, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah.
Yep,
and I was very flattered to be asked to do it. And then I met this bloke, and it was a lovely script. A very, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a lovely
really
piece
good.
of work.
Brilliant performances from
And,
both of you, to be fair.
And we sort of, on that set, sort of fell in love, didn't we?
Yeah,
And, and he said,
We
I'm
do.
going to do this thing about this boxer. And I thought, oh, bless his heart.
Bless
He's going to
him.
make this big film. And there we are.
There we are.
And I was in it.
Isn't that amazing how it
So
works?
7 years.
7
years later, yeah.
7 years.
Yeah.
Hey guys and gals, Giles here, jumping in to tell you about Q Scripts. Well, they're a script analysis service who provide detailed, constructive and professional reports on shorts, features and TV scripts. They work with both emerging talent aiming for a break in the industry as well as established writers looking to take their scripts and ideas to the next level. They have experienced readers with a track record at honing scripts into the best and most appealing version for production companies and other partners. And because you listen to the Filmmakers Podcast, you get 3 months membership for free for a limited time. So get there now. qscripts.com, link is in the show notes. Easy. qscripts.com, check them out. It takes time to make things. It takes time. And like you say, we're all kind of people who get off our asses and make things happen ourselves. Like the fact that you just went, well, I'm going to do it myself. It was at the Camden Roundhouse, wasn't it? Right? Was
Yes,
it? Yes.
Camden Roundhouse.
He's done a whole career of it, though. I mean, that's
your
what's so
whole career's been
interesting.
that.
He's always made a mark. He always gets reviews. All the papers always come to see you.
Yeah.
And there's the new Steven Berkoff show. Have you seen the new Steven Berkoff?
Yeah.
And so I really admire you.
Well, that's kind of you, but I mean, I was probably envying you because you were always doing the great classics.
Well, not always.
Well,
but
you're
I've
not.
done them. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I was between shows, hanging around, getting odd jobs, even working in a pub at one time when things were difficult.
Of course.
Those sorts of ghastly jobs, but we did it. And then suddenly, and I did the Roundhouse, and that was good. I was successful, difficult production, but it was exciting. But then everything went dead for a while. Although after the great reviews I had from such a Harold Hobson, I thought people might have come in, or the RSC may have said, come and do something experimental. Try, but nobody did. Then one day I had a call from a casting agent who said, Stanley Kubrick's in town casting The Clockwork Orange, and he's looking for a copper. I thought, I'm the last person who looks like an English copper. But
it's Stanley
somebody
Kubrick.
who looked like an English, because everybody has that in, cop films are all over the place. And so he didn't want to meet me, he didn't want to talk to me. He wanted me to go on a video, which is very revolutionary then, just to say a few lines, improvise. And then suddenly I was cast by Kubrick. So I went to where he was filming, somewhere in West London by that Brunel University.
Brunel, yeah.
And then I met him, and he just had finished a few months earlier, premiered 2001. So I went in
that
because
must have been incredible.
incredible.
Right?
And because I had done my own work till then, I felt on a par with him. I felt I'm not intimidated by him. I'm not at all put out by this man's brilliance. In fact, he appeals to me. So, but all the other casts has come to their shots, so that they were so nervous because they're working with this phenomenal genius, just done 2001. It was phenomenal, but I got on well with him. So I he became a father figure. So, hey, Stanley, what is the next be coming on to my shot? He said, sure, Steve, well, have a look through the lens, you see. He's letting me look through the lens at my shot. So I stepped up to the lens, thinking I'm going to see something amazing, like hyper wide angle or something, but it just looked like an ordinary shot. So I looked through the lens. Well, I wasn't there. And I said, oh, that's fascinating, Stan. Yeah, so I did it, and I didn't want it. So the previous scene was with this guy called, is it James Aubrey? I don't know. Yes. And he never learned his lines. He said, well, I don't know my lines before I've blocked the scene. Then I know where I go. And Stanley says, that's your job as an actor. You learn your lines. Blocking comes later, but you learn, because you had to do it over and over again. Had to make sure. So every time went over the lines over and over and over again. So we came to the shot, and I did the scene with Alex, who played, the Clockwork Orange. Brilliant actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I kept going over the lines,
right,
because I didn't want to lose them. So I must have gone over them thousands of times. I was going a bit mad.
That gets you into a worse cycle, because then you think, I'm going to forget it, because you know it so well.
And then the words don't even mean anything
Yes.
to you, but I did it. And we got on well, and they said that was good, very, very good. He was very pleased with me. And then he became a bit my friend, a little bit. So about a year, 2-3 years later, he called me, and he said, this time he called me. He said, would you like to be, and I'm doing Barry Lyndon. And there's a part of Lord Ludd. I said, thank you, that would be nice and elegant and all that. I thought, that'd be nice, time to play a Cockney or Russian. And I did that. And I did it with a guy called Patrick McGee. Who you
Patrick
know.
McGee. Yes, of course.
He played the other guy. He played the Lord, who's supposed to be German, and running a scam, gambling. And Patrick, he's a wonderful actor, but he also gets a bit intimidated by Kubrick because he had to speak another language. All he has to say is, faites vos yeux, monsieur. And Patrick would always say, faites vos yeux. And Stanley would say, no, vos yeux means your eyes. Faites vos yeux. Oh, yes, Stanley fucking it. Get it fucking name. Yeah, fat. What do we say to fucking Stanley? So take 22. It's fine. I got the fucking thing. All right. And he's got an eye patch on as well. So, and the eye patch is wobbling. And Stanley says, look, you have no eyes, so you mustn't wobble. See? Try and keep it. So, oh, yeah. So, then he says, all right, steals the cards, fed for sure. Yeah. And then he gets it. So about 30 takes later, and everybody's exhausted. I says, okay, that's fine, because he's very gentle, Stanley. That's fine, Patrick. You did really well. Okay.
I was just going to say, he sounds like thinking about Stanley Kubrick, you think he would have been very tough and hard and just completely...
No, very gentle.
But being gentle with actors is the best way. You hear about Steven Spielberg and how gentle he is with actors. And how
it's the best way.
You let them in your own space. And
He said, don't worry, Pat, it's only a show.
Yeah.
Your health is more important, your life. It's only a show, it's only a take. He says, okay, we're going to turn around, then the scene's on me. Now, having just seen the humiliation and demolition of an actor in Patrick McGee, I said to myself, I will not try. I will not break down. I will continue forever. I will do as many takes as he needs, and it will be flawless every time.
Right.
So it comes, okay, action, I'm playing Lord Ludd. Oh, and I did it a lot of it in French. Oh, je désire peut-être 23 sur les rouges et peut-être le 10 sur le noir. Et qu'est-ce que tu penses, ma chérie? Qu'est-ce que tu penses? C'est bien, hein? Okay, cut. Fine, Steve. Here we go again. Oh oui, je désire le 10 sur les 12, le bidet. Qu'est-ce que tu penses, ma chérie? C'est bien pour toi, oui, absolument.
I still remember all the lines.
Yeah, got every line. Then Stanley says, take it a little tiny bit slower. Just more, you've been playing for hours. You're not so energetic. Oh, c'est peut-être que je désire le 10 sur les roues. Well, I did that. Then did that, fine. So after about 20 takes, I'm looking at the man on the camera, and by now, because he's looking so long and so hard, he's got a red ring where the
Around the
lens is
lens,
dug
right.
into his flesh.
Yeah.
I can't almost look at it. But we'd go on a bit more, fast, slow, and Stanley's waiting for me to kind of, sorry, Steph, break down.
Yeah.
But I won't. I said, the camera will break down before I do, I said to myself. I said, go on. It's about 25 takes. Stanley says, I think we've got it. I said, oh, really, Stanley? Oh, what a shame. I was just getting into it.
That's the great thing, just hearing these stories and you know, the people that, not just being here with you two, but the fact that you've worked with so many
legends.
amazing people.
What was the moment when you realized it was different from theatre? Or was it for you? That difference between working on camera and then working on stage.
You have a different experience than you working on camera to theatre. I know you've said this
I understand
before.
the question.
Yeah. No, I'm already saying. I already know the answer. I already know your answer. But he's gonna
Totally killed you then.
I know.
Frankly, I didn't. I was working at the Royal Court at the time. That's how I started off, because Tony Richardson, the director, did a lot of work, as you know, at the Royal Court, and I got into the Royal Court, and he cast Tom Jones, the film Tom Jones, which remains a classic, and he did it with all Royal Court actors. And I was just terribly excited to do it, and not at all. I was nervous, of course, because it was a new experience, but the actual, I think you'd agree, the actual essence of acting, well, you know now, of course you do, Joe. Gosh, I'm calling you Joe.
Call me Jem Belcher.
The essential quality of thing about acting is always the same, whatever you do. It depends. You don't shout when you're in a film. However, you do make it audible. I mean, sometimes these days, young lads they do scenes in pubs when there's a pub roaring with people around, and they talk like this. Well, we all know that when you're in a pub, if it's like that, you have to speak up. But a lot of the young lads don't do that anymore. But I found when I went in on this film that such lovely people anyway, they were making a very jokey, terribly silly, glorious film. Wonderful film. Oh, wonderful, classic. And what a wonderful one to start off with. Wasn't that lucky? Yes. Wasn't that lucky? And I felt quite easy in front of the camera, because it wasn't actually anything different from what I've been doing for the past, whatever it was, years I've been in the theatre. And I was just bloody grateful. And that film has stood me in good stead.
Yeah, it has. And you've worked with on some amazing films, both of you, but you've both worked in a James Bond film, right?
Both played the baddie in the James Bond film.
Played a baddie in a Bond film.
Yeah.
How was that experience? And did it, in terms of the leveling up and all that kind of stuff? And it's James Bond, it's forever, I
can't remember, who was your Bond?
Roger Moore.
Oh, same as me.
Same. You had so you were the baddie with the same Bond. He defeated you both, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was very exciting always to work on a big, epic motion picture. Mm-hmm. And the Bond films, of course, spare. Nothing is spared for it. The money is somehow limitless. The sets are beyond belief. Mm-hmm. Everything is super glorious, fantastical, amazing. And the actors are usually, the tip-top actors. And so it's lovely to be there. And I just enjoy doing it and doing my Russian. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, they had a war scene, which was a huge circular, set, which was, what do you call in theatre, that goes round?
In the round, not proscenium, it's the proscenium.
Theatre
in the
round,
but in the round, but yeah.
Like a theatre in the
Circular
round.
stage.
But the whole set, as we sat, would revolve.
Oh, the set worked and you sat still.
That's right.
I see, yeah.
Nice.
The set that worked around to show the cities and a giant map of Europe, which I had planned to bomb with my nefarious kind of power-seeking, dynamic, psychotic mind. And so
Standard.
the thing goes round. And then so I sat there and I thought, I had my beautiful uniform on and slightly shaved head. And I thought, who can I base it on? And the only person I thought, because sometimes actors, we look for someone to base it on or something. And I remember George C. Scott in 2000, in Dr. Strangelove.
Yes.
And I thought, that's got to be like a Russian George C. Scott.
It's a great film.
Yes.
A great film.
So that's what we did, and I enjoyed doing that, and I even made 1 or 2 suggestions.
Nice.
And we did it, and I pointed out with my stick, right, first we going to bomb. First we go to Paris, then bomb in Rome, then we go bomb Yugoslavia, then Bratislava, then we bomb, then the Bucharest, then Budapest, then in London, and this, with this idea, because we place the thing in each, because this guy's totally mad, how we get rid of the Western world. And so that goes on, and then Roger Moore's then after me, and
What year was that?
that was 1980.
And when was yours, Julian? When did you?
Can't remember.
Was it before?
It was 1981. It's the year after.
Must have been the one after you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
literally the
what
one
did you
after.
do?
Yeah. Yours was For Your
For
Eyes
Your Eyes
Only.
Only.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
you were Octopus.
What was interesting about that film was that they decided that the characters should be very recognisable people, and it was whether it was me or Topol who was the baddie. You didn't discover who was till the middle of the picture, but we were recognisable people. We didn't have hooks on the end of our hands. We didn't throw hats, or have cats on our lap. And also Bond was better at everything than anybody else. That was his skill. But he couldn't press a button and that building would blow up. That wasn't that sort of magic Bond film. It was all about actual people. And so we had to be people. And so I'll maintain the innocence of my character in that film till the day I die.
As you should. You both had the same director as well, John Glenn.
John Glenn.
Yeah, he directed.
he did the two films back to back.
Yeah, which must be interesting. What did you learn
John
from?
was lovely.
What did you, like you said with Stanley Kubrick, how the gentleness really helped you as actors? What did you learn? Because obviously theatre, it's very different. It's very immersive. You're building every day. What did you learn from film directors that would help our listeners over your time? What really helped you guys?
Well, again, the director who actually admires his actor has chosen the actor because he thinks he's good, and so only needs to nudge him this way or that way. I find there's nothing worse than a director who shouts at you. It completely I'm not strong like Steven.
I'm not strong
completely
at all.
puts the willy up me when people shout at me and say, no, Julian, I can't take that, and I don't respond well to it at all.
Nor do I.
No, but like John Glenn, I mean, he was a lovely, perfect gentleman.
Yes, he was.
But he would give that little... Just the
Little
odd
nudge,
little
little
note,
tweak,
and you say, oh yes, you're absolutely right, and do it his way. Or sometimes you said, no, I don't want to do that, John. It's not right. And he'd go, why? And I'd do my boring actor's thing about why, and usually I got away with it. And,
My face looks better on the right. You know this, John.
But it's the same with all directors. I mean, we had a really gentle director on Prizefighter. He was so sympathetic and interested, and I mean, really interested. You could see every time he did a shot, he really wanted to do that shot, and that draws the actor in. Even if the actor's sitting on the side, sitting on the table drinking coffee, because he's not in that scene. He's drawn into the scene, into the show, because he sees the enthusiasm of the director, which infects the actors, which makes it good.
It's a lot of it's about energy and how the energy you create, whether it's the director or the actors or whoever, if you create the right energy and everyone's getting along and sort of working.
Well, you could teach us a few lessons about energy. Matt's honestly,
he'd have to have it.
I don't know how you did it. I really don't know how you did it. I could never have done it, even when I was young and fit.
Really? But did you never want to direct? I mean, you've directed.
Oh, yes.
But
Yes, I did. I did. I've done it a couple of times. I remember my first wife, I did acting, saying, you're now being serious, Julian.
Really?
When I directed a couple of things. The most notable was actually Hamlet, where we were asked to do a family Hamlet up in Norwich. And so my son played Hamlet, and my wife played Gertrude, and I played the ghost, because that was the father.
Okay, yeah.
And we found it tremendously useful, really interesting. And I directed it as well. And it was quite good, but we found extraordinary things because we knew each other so well. There was one terrific moment in it when my son Jamie Glover was a very little boy, he was found with his friend behind a curtain with matches. And my wife, who's the gentlest soul, just was so upset, she walloped him. And he walloped her straight back.
Oh, wow.
And then they both laughed. We got to Hamlet at the very first rehearsal of the closet scene, the famous closet scene.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened. She hit him out of anger,
Right.
and he hit her straight back. And that came, and all the rest of the cast, and of course we kept it in. That was because we knew each other. We knew what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I went, whoa, fantastic. That's Jamie behind the curtain, isn't it? With the matches. But it was a wonderful experience.
It's that talk of knowing and having that connection with your actors.
Well, again, this goes back to your thing about actors and directors being gentle with people. I don't find anybody gets really good results, but only put the actor. An actor, I'm afraid, unless you're someone called Steven Berkoff, you're a rather delicate little plant who needs the baby bio poured on him. And
I like the baby bio poured on me.
Do you?
I love it when
You were when we did our
director tells you you're good, and he tells you you're good.
Yes.
Oh, it does help, doesn't it?
Yes, he said, that was a lovely scene. Keeping, I don't change it. Was well. And then that fills you with somehow not only just confidence, but you feel redeemed because an actor's life is what he does. When he's somebody else, when he's acting. And if you're rejected for that, you're rejected as a human being, because as a painter, you can paint, people don't like the painting, right? I'll throw that away, you start another one, a piece of music, I've got other music. But when you're an actor, that is you're using your own body, your own voice, your own experience, your own memories. And if you are rather dismissed, it takes a while for you to kind of crawl out of that miasma of self-depression and climb and find another way, because I was directed by this chap, John Glenn, who used to be an editor, but it's like a family group, you see, with Barbara Broccoli, the daughter of Cubby Broccoli, and her friend Michael Wilson, and they treat the whole Bond thing like a big family. They use the same cameraman, the same DP, same sound, the same costume.
That's why they do it.
And so they have a wonderful camaraderie. And John Glenn has been editing the film for years. Suddenly they offered him director of a major multi-million thing.
Ridley Scott does the same as well. He uses a lot of the same thing.
And he did very well, and he was gentle, and you could make suggestions, and they'd laugh.
But even you were saying about, when we did our scene together in Lithuania for Prizefighter, and it was a prison scene, and you don't mind me saying, like, you were very gentle then, and Daniel was coming over to him and saying, how do you feel, Stephen? He's like, yes, can I do this? Can I do that? And the great thing is when you were let go, he just
of course he did,
absolutely blossomed and was wonderful. But I think it's having that kind of that gentleness and support.
Well, then you get the best out of your actor.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think people have come to life and been dynamic.
Yeah.
Like Peter Sellers and Dr. Strangelove, because Kubrick laughed and thought, Peter, you're delightful. Yeah. And he said, maybe I'll improvise around this. Yeah, please do anything you like. So what a joy! Do anything you like.
It's biological. If we're happy, that broods confidence, and if you're confident, especially in front of a camera, then the hope is you shine.
But it's having that support, right? It's having the person at the top, if you like, of that chain who's supporting you as the actors to go, I feel confident to do what I'm doing. Whereas you were saying, Julian, where you get pushed down or someone's shouting at you, that doesn't bring out people's best work. No. But people still do it, and I find that amazing. Why would you not work closely with your actors.
It must be more interesting, much more fun to actually get on with the actor than not to get on with him.
How was it? Was there any difference between Steven Spielberg and Irving Kershner, or anything like that? What was the difference in their directing styles?
Well, Kershner's divine, but he's not as good as Steven.
He's dead now. You can probably say that.
We enjoyed working with Irving Kershner very much indeed. He's a great man of the theatre too, and but then so is Steven. The thing about Steven is that he knows everything about the cinema. He knows how to do everything on the set except act. And like some directors who can't act, hate actors because they can, Steven simply admires actors who can. And so working with him was paradise. Absolute paradise, because you knew he was totally on top of the job, at every point. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he cast you because you were you. So I said, we've touched on this before, because you were the person he wanted to play that part, and it seems to me quite obvious that that's the way to do it. But and he was just absolutely perfect, and
all the great stories seem to be like the most human. It's not, you very rarely do you hear someone go, right, okay, I went in, I auditioned the hell out of it, I had to go through all these things. Some of the most human stories are the ones where you're talking over the fence to your friend or someone, and it's happened to me. It's the same thing that's happened to me.
About 7 years ago, I did a very short film for this young film director called Then and Now, and it was a purely short job, but I got another one out of it. So later on, it's a matter of he must have liked me.
Every 7 years.
Yeah. What is it that you find because you do help filmmakers these days, and you do get asked to come on board, maybe second-time director or even first-time director? What is it you look for there? Is it the script? Is it what the director says to you? What is it that appeals?
Well, for me, merely being asked is the appeal enough.
Completely agree with you.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
never mind how good the script is.
Right, but you two are legends.
Like I read about some actors who say, oh my God, the scripts are coming in Fast and Furious and such junk. I can't find it. I thought, Fast and Furious, if I just get one script, I don't even read it. Yes, I'll do it.
Right.
And for us, it's the different side. We as young filmmakers, we think there's no way we can get Steven Berkoff or Julian Glover because they're in hot demand all the time.
Here we are panting for a script.
Who's got the script?
Yeah.
It's a weird parallel of that. How we think they're impossible to get to,
but 90 or 80% of actors aren't working all the time, and some very intermittently, and they're very glad just to be asked. So if you suddenly say, the agent says, we've got the script, it's sitting here, and you're not doing anything weird, you're not taking your pecker out, taking your clothes off, you're not doing anything to make your mum ashamed.
Sure.
And that's been a big influence to me, where I've turned down a film.
Right.
But if it's just a reasonable script and you're a reasonable human, you just take it. You don't give a damn what the script's like. When you become in the high echelon of actors, and then you can pick I don't fancy this. And they've been known to turn down great films.
What a wonderful position to be in.
Right. So you've not turned anything down that you went, I wish I'd done that.
Yeah, you must be in that position.
You have. Go on,
Yes.
Stephen. Yeah.
I once met David Lynch.
Wow.
And he asked me to read this script. Well, actually, it was the Italian producer, Dino De Laurentiis. I got in touch to say there's a script that I could have a look at called Blue Velvet. So I looked at it and I thought, what a piece of junk. And I admire David Lynch enormously. And I thought his films, particularly his very early films, Eraserhead. Have you seen that?
Yeah,
It's phenomenal. Then, of course, Elephant Man, phenomenal. But he's got a script, it's a piece of junk. And
Very erotica at the time, right? To
but
read
it wasn't
it
even
felt that
erotic.
way.
It was like a bit dirty, a bit grubby.
All right.
And I was a bit caught between two worlds because working in the theatre, that does make you a little bit fussy about what you do.
Right.
Because the theatre is often very literate, it's very smart, it's very innovative, often very moralistic. So I had just been directing a production, my adaptation of Kafka's The Trial, and I had been doing it in Israel at the Habima Theatre. And it wasn't a great show. The actors weren't that committed. But I was doing The Trial. Kafka, and that's quite one of the greatest writers ever lived. At that time, this offer came in for Blue Velvet. And there was a scene where the hero, so to speak, is beating up this woman. And he's in the back of a car squeezing her tits and then chewing on the blue velvet. I thought, I can't do this. But my actors in Israel, having just done a major production of The Trial.
I'm chewing velvet in the back of a taxi.
Theatre, they say me going, so I said, David, there's no director in the world I'd like to work with more than you. But I can't get over this. Why does he have to chew and squeeze the woman's tits like shouting? Well, I read about, some people have psychosis about chewing. They read about it, didn't either. I said, well, look, if you can't get anyone else, I certainly. And he said, well, that's not really what I'd rather you. And I've got this guy who eventually did it. He rings me up all the time saying, I am this guy. You can't do better. I am this guy. And David says, this is an actor I don't want. I don't want an actor who says, I am this guy. I want an actor to act it. So he came to London, David Lynch, and he said, well, we're going to get you a big wig, like a Roy Orbison wig, because you're going to be singing in it and doing funny things. One of Roy Orbison's all appealed to me. But then when I read it, I just done the trial and I got a bit guilty. And in Israel, they see me doing it. Somehow, I don't know why I should say, well, it's just a movie. So I didn't do it. And then it became the biggest hit. Mm-hmm. And all the things I didn't like, he cut out of the film.
Oh, really?
So he cut out the chewing and he cut out the... And
everyone wondered why it was called Blue Velvet, because it wasn't in there anymore.
Blue Velvet.
Let's talk about Prizefighter a little bit, because that's one of the main reasons why we're here. Obviously, it's a fantastic boxing film, and Matt's put this together so well with his team and got it to where it was. Obviously, because you'd made the short together Now and Then, Julian, I suppose it's an easier in for you to discuss, shall we do this? But with
there wasn't any discussion. It was like he said.
Yeah.
He asked me to do it, and I said yes.
That was it.
Hadn't read it.
Hadn't read it. Just I'm in.
I would have done it. I would have done one line for him.
That's
at that point, because I knew he needed his friends about him, and which, as we talked about earlier, you got a lot of your friends about you, and and particularly as he talked about it so early, and I thought, he'll never get this off the ground. And rather like Sam Wanamaker building the Globe. I remember him talking in the green room at Stratford saying, I've just seen the site where it used to be. I'm going to rebuild it. All the young actors went, oh, these Americans think they can do it.
Just come in,
and I never thought you could get this film off the ground, and you bloody did. And look at the cast you got. Absolutely unbelievable.
Incredible. How did you get involved, Stephen? Can you remember the conversation?
How was it?
Was it again across the fence? Was it Matt leaning across chucking
I hardly know. Well, I have this agent, and
good.
He just said, I have something for you if you want to do it. And I said, well, what is it?
Yeah.
To make sure it wasn't anything a bit porny.
Exactly. You have to get your pecker out
the
again.
Kind of things it usually does. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, it's about a boxing film, and it sounded interesting. And then he said, it's flying to Lithuania. Mm-hmm. So I thought, oh, that'll be nice. I love.
Oh, so that was the intrigue, right?
No, Lithuania is wonderful, though, isn't it?
It is. And so for many actors, you see, we're often just at home, watching EastEnders every night, and washing the dishes and taking the kids to school.
Wishing you were in EastEnders.
Suddenly, you say you're wanted in LA next week, or Venice, or Lithuania, or places you've never been to in your life. So in some ways, acting, unlike any other profession, well, the performing arts, particularly acting or dancing, is like being on a magic carpet. So you can just be sitting at home, and all you're doing is defleeing the cat. And then so the phone rings. There's an agent saying, Steve, are you free tomorrow to fly to Nice? Why, what happened? Well, Terence Stamp has just walked off the film.
Again?
And they're looking for somebody who can fit his clothes and everything, like, for the reason, a bit similar.
It's so nice to read a script and you go, right, okay, because we are very lucky in the sense that we get to travel and meet, it's, like I said, it's a job that just, you get to travel and meet with all these two people and spend like a sort of a marriage with people for a couple of months or a couple of weeks and be sort of, in with them every single day. And then you go off and live the lives. We had you on Prizefighter with Martin and Ray.
Martin, what a wonderful actor.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I remember we did the first day with Martin Kosak and Julian sat down. It was the first scene that you were in, actually.
Yes.
In the card game. And Julian sat down and we did one take with Martin. I remember you looking over, you said, who the hell is that actor? You said, he's bloody fantastic. Because he just
brilliant actor.
Yeah. He's really good in the film.
He plays a lot of different
I
roles.
knew he'd be brilliant. He was being brilliant in that scene. I was rather intimidated. He was so wonderful. And also particularly that part was one I would like to have played 30 years ago. It really was.
Well, I remember,
it was up my street, that sort of part.
I remember I came to you and said, I think it's going to happen.
Yes.
I emailed Julian. I said, I think it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'd love to get you in. And I said, it's the Lord. I think I just said it's the Lord, and there was two Lords. Right. And he come back and said, Matt, I'd love to, but you can't have me. I'm getting hit. I'm fighting. I'm jumping around. He said, he was like, I don't know if I can pull that off. I said, no, it's the other Lord. And then he went, yes. But it was good with Martin and Martin Kosak, Stephen. He's done loads of various roles, so he's kind of unrecognizable. You'd recognize his face, but you'd go, God, he's done so many different roles. And it was a nice thing sitting down, because it was a card game scene where you just think, okay, a conversation, and when someone lights it up or just it started off quite nice, and then all of a sudden we're just like, oh, okay, you're bringing that, and then it brought everyone else, which was great. It was
that's nice
really
on
nice
set sometimes, isn't it, when someone brings a performance almost.
What surprises you as well?
You go,
God.
Right. That makes you up your game, right? Or does it make you just go, good, I'm in
So
safe
inventive he was, so inventive.
I think it just created a nice, moment. Like you said, it makes you go, okay, you got to be on your A game, and also, like Julian said, it was just sometimes you are acting and you're so in the role, but there was times even filming this, just going, God, I'm acting in front of.
Stephen does this all the time. Pretty well every time you see him, he's something different, and he's always, how do you do that?
Oh, Julian, you're just being awfully kind to me.
Well, there's no advantage to me being awfully kind to you.
There is. Because
why are you employing?
You'll be.
Sam has walked off.
so.
No, he is right. I mean, the scenes that we did every single time. Sometimes people do just things different every time to just, and sometimes it's confusing because you've got continuity, all this kind of stuff. But when we did this, you'll see the scene. When we did the scene together, he was just sitting there and he was just building and building. And Daniel, the director, you don't know this, he came up to me, he said, Matt, I want to keep filming this. I just want to keep going and going. And I remember him coming up to you and he said, Stephen, how do you feel? And Stephen said, well, I've done a couple of takes. If you got what you need? And Daniel looked at me and looked at Stephen. He went, of course I've got what I need, but I want to keep going because I just want to watch you. And Stephen was like, well, come on, let's
a bit more dialogue there.
Yeah.
And he did. I mean, the dialogue that you learned on that day, probably completely forgotten it out. I mean, Julian, he learned
Oh, there was a lot.
A ton of monologue.
Did you shoot it in one day?
It was over 2 days, wasn't it?
About 2 days, yes.
So a bit of time to relax.
Did he make you go through the whole thing all the way through in one take?
No,
he didn't do that. Well, not that cruel.
No, I think he just did it up to where I needed a change. A physical change where I'm sitting, and the first bits where I'm close to you at the bar. So therefore, you really needed to do it in 2 or 3 takes.
How was the experience for you on Prizefighter? In terms of what?
Well, it was a thrilling experience. I'm suddenly working again. I'm stepping into a studio. I hear the sound of lights, silence. Oh, yes, we're working again. Make up. And everything's right. Costume, which is rubbish costumes I had. And then afterwards, it's the joy afterwards. You're out of England. You're in a country and with a great hotel. fantastic, where they have this Wagyu burgers.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? We should talk about that burger because
Fantastic drinks.
Right. They treated you well.
Oh,
every person that had this
beautiful.
burger.
There's breakfast that you can't believe. You think, God, what a gift sometimes to get out of England to see how life really can be.
Well, listen, this has been really fun. Really enjoyed chatting to you both.
Oh, likewise. So good to get out the house, be facing a camera,
Stop defleeing the cat.
seeing other people.
Yes.
Defeating the cat. Yes.
Yeah.
My best thing about this afternoon has been to know that you've got a cat which tolerates you defleeing it. My fucker doesn't. No. Oh, God almighty.
Do you both actually have cats? Yeah.
We have 2 cats.
Right, it's not just a euphemism.
No, I used to. Unfortunately, he's passed on.
They do.
I had a Bengal. He was a beautiful cat, very funny, very friendly.
You both got so much energy. I mean,
Well, thank you.
for
It's
me,
been
this
a-
has been,
delightful.
I'm in awe. I didn't even, text you both saying, could you do this? And the fact that you both said yes, it means the world. So.
But it's been lovely. And when you said that Julian Glover was coming, well, I couldn't resist.
That's why I had to play you off each other.
said the
I said to Julian, I said,
Meeting a real actor.
Yeah,
Julian
right?
said no first. I said, Stephen's coming. He said yes. You said no. And then as soon as I said Julian's coming, you both said no. No, I'm joking.
So listen, thank you everyone for listening. This has been an absolute treat for you all. You can go out there and make your film as Matt has done. Prizefighter is out now, so do go support. Honestly, it's been a labour of love for Matt, and he's got 2 wonderful actors in the film as well, so do go do that. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do all, it is your duty to send the elevator back down. We will see you all next Tuesday. As always, I hope you enjoyed this first video version of the Filmmakers Podcast, but it has been an absolute delight. Julian Glover, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Steven Berkoff, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you so
Take
much.
care, everyone. We will see you next week. All the best.
Okay, bye.
Bye.